Happy Saturday. It's the big game weekend. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and welcome to Wasatch Weekends. On this Saturday morning edition, we are showing you all kinds of delicious treats and snacks to make in the event that you don't have your big game menu planned. We're making meatballs in the kitchen, a stadium filled with snacks, plus buffalo chicken dip, all of that and more. But before we get started, let's take a look at today's weather. Opening, I mentioned a stadium filled with snacks. What in the world is that? Well, Ross and I show you how to make a stadium snack tray to start, and then we'll fill it up later. So let's take a look at how to build a stadium. We're back. We're here in the kitchen again.
In the kitchen, love it.
Because there is a big game happening at the end of the week.
That's
and
right.
You've got to have all of the fun things to make it happen,
Yeah.
to entertain and to be entertained, right?
Yeah.
Well, we are going to make, everybody loves a snack and everybody loves dips, right?
Right.
What's your favorite dip during
Oh
your
man,
Super Bowl?
something hot and cheesy.
Hot and cheesy.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the hot and cheesy
Oh, that's
version
okay.
because we've got to make the structure. We are making a tinfoil aluminum football stadium.
Awesome.
To put all of the snacks, all of the dips in, and it's just a really fun way to entertain your friends and family if you're watching the big game.
Love it.
So pretty awesome. So we've got two aluminum sizes here
Cool.
of these tins. So the big one is going to be your field, and then the little ones are actually going to be your stands.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty great. So all we're going to be doing is just assembling it. And then we've got straws. We like straws.
Cool.
Because these will make the goalposts. And so I'm going to task you with being creative and making a goalpost.
All right. Love that.
So we've got scissors here, and then you've got you can make this in like bigger versions of it, but we're just going to do a small one. A lot of these bigger versions, and I think you mentioned you've seen it, where you take Coke boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have no idea how to assemble that one, so we're not going to even attempt to do it on the television.
This will work easier, I think.
I think so too, and this is like a decent portion to serve to your friends and family, so you don't have a ton of food left over. But what we've got is a glue gun, and we've got Elmer's glue if we need it, and then we've got our tin. So pretty easy. All you're going to do is put the smaller tin here on the side. So we're going to just hot glue gun the edges here, and we can make sure that this is still hot. It's hot glue guns heat up very quickly, but you kind of have to put a little bit of pressure on them to get that glue out. And we're working on, I'm putting it in 3 points of contact here, just to anchor it down. All right, and then before it gets cold, you just stick it right here on the side, and we hold it in place for a second so that it stays. And then one of the things you can also do with this is like provide a little bit of extra aluminum foil underneath it to provide extra structure, and then just kind of hold it in place there. So we're just holding it in place, getting it assembled. There we go. Look at that. That's our first side. And I would say I'm a big fan of structure support in building in real life and in crafting because we are going to be loading snacks into these. So we want to make sure that it's actually staying on. So we'll go ahead and do the next one. Do you want to man the glue gun?
I think you got it.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if I'm certified.
I would say that you probably
gun.
are. So we're going to just rotate it. And we've got two here, so we'll take that bottom one out. And so it's looking great, right? Want to make sure that's centered. I didn't center that one, but we'll make sure that we center it on the rest,
it's
right?
looking like mile high already.
It is. So we're just putting 3 more dots on the either side of these. Looking great. All right, we'll put a little bit more on that outside just to make sure that it is secure. And then what I'm doing, I'm actually kind of like melding it around the edges so you can see that it stays and it's flush. So we're just kind of holding it there for like 3 seconds waiting for that glue to dry. You know, here we go. It's a party.
It's coming together
It
already.
is coming together. I think this is just a really fun way to show off your hosting skills.
Yeah.
You know, there we go. We've got the end zone. So we probably will stick a little bit of tin foil in the backside here, but we're going to assemble everything else first.
Cool.
So moving on to the next one, and this is just like a bread pan or like a mini like pound cake pan. So you can get these in the baking section at the grocery store. I'd say Walmart doesn't necessarily have these, but if you go to like a city market or just any sort of grocery store around, they usually will have all kinds of shapes and sizes. So even if you don't want to do a football stadium, you can start crafting with aluminum tin pans, you know, why not? All right, we've got this next one going on here. So this is side number 3, and it's gonna be,
I'm just trying to mentally prepare for the goalposts.
oh, the goalpost, that's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna take a little bit of creativity. So I think it's whatever way you wanna try to make it will totally work. Awesome. So we're just sticking them in there, and I am definitely pressing the edges and the glue points to the edge of the big pan. So you can see it there. So it's starting to look like a stadium. What do you think?
It's looking like it. It's getting there.
We are getting there. All right, last side here with our glue gun. So I'm putting a generous amount of glue. I don't know if you can tell here, but you just want to make sure that it'll like fill in all of the cracks between the ripples in the aluminum foil. So we've got a decent amount of glue right there. 3 points, that's probably all you need. Sides, middle, and then you just kind of, and the harder part I'd say is probably here on the end.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get your fingers in there.
Get some support under them. We'll get it looking nice.
Yeah, it's looking great. You know what I've loved? Okay, so our stadium itself is ready to go. It's all together, looking good. Now, if you wanted to put extra, like again, as I mentioned, you can put the extra tin foil underneath it, like because it'll pop off just like that. But not to worry, because hot glue will stick on there.
Yes.
You just have to be gentle with it when you are moving it back and forth.
What kind of snacks are we going to put in this thing?
Well,
Is that
I think
a surprise?
it could be a surprise.
Okay.
We're going to make a dip, obviously, and then all kinds of options in regard to whatever you want to put in with your dip. You can be carb-friendly, low-carb, veggies, whatever you want. And we've got all those options to show you here. All right, great. So we're just going to let this set and let it dry. Now, you do have to be careful.
Yes.
As we can see, the hot glue can sometimes pull it off, but looking good here. So goalposts. We've got straws. Let's get those going.
What you think we use the bendy part?
So
or are
here's
we
how,
cutting these
this is
all
what
up?
I would do.
Okay.
We're gonna cut them, we're gonna try different things. So should we do 2 different colors for the
Well,
different
why not?
teams?
Yeah.
Why not, right? I'm gonna go with red.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab 3 red straws, and we'll see how this turns out, you know. Always fun to adventure. I'd say we definitely do the bendy part.
Kim, it is always an adventure in the kitchen.
It is. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull it all the way out. You can bend your straw just like that, right? And then what we're gonna do is take our scissors and we're gonna cut. We're gonna make sure, actually before we even do that, just make sure that you're even. All right, here we go. And we're just gonna go ahead and cut it just like that. We're just throwing straws all over the place. And we're gonna stretch them out. And then here's the fun part. You're gonna take one end and make it really small and bend it if you can. Ross is
Kim,
going,
I went a
don't know if
different
my
route
fingers
here.
can-
I just kind of pulled them out and made them into a
Yours is
goalpost.
way easier. I like your version better.
Uh,
But I guess we take tape or like, you could take glue, whatever
Yeah.
you want. But I'm just sliding it in.
Normally when I make goalposts, it's not the bendy straws. So that's
Right.
what's throwing me for a curve here. You
Right.
know? When I make my goalposts all the time like this.
Yeah, you could do it just like that. And then if you wanted to like glue your straw to it or just do your version, which I think I like better. Losing my straw there. And then we can just glue it.
You know, they say if you want to get something done efficiently,
Put a man in charge.
No, you
I'm
get
just
no,
kidding.
no. You put a lazy person in charge because they find the easiest way to get it done.
Well, I think I like your version better. We're gonna go with that.
Cool.
And then we're just gonna make 2 goalposts, and then we're gonna glue them onto either side of our stadium setup here, and then we'll fill everything in. And then we've got some fun little figurines to show everybody
Love
on
it.
the break. But this is where we're getting started. So here's our stadium. You have to be a little bit gentle. This is what it looks like. And then we'll stick those goalposts in once we've assembled the layer and the dip and all the
Awesome.
fun things. So it's gonna be a fun one. We'll be right back after this. our stadium is assembled, and you can get creative with how you want to fill it. Ross and I made a 7-layer dip, and we stuffed the stands with veggies and chips galore. Let's take a look. We are back. We're assembling.
We switched sides.
We switched sides. Now here's the best part, is putting the stuff into the stadium.
Okay.
Right? So, the gates are opening, the fans are excited.
That's
They've been
it.
hanging out in the
That's
parking
it.
lot, and they are ready to get prepared for the big game, for the pregame entertainment. So we're gonna go ahead and get that started. Now, I love a 7-layer dip. We're not gonna do 7 layers because I don't want to use the lettuce that is typically in a shredded 7-layer dip. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So what I'm gonna ask you to do, there's a really fun layer that I like. It's sour cream and taco seasoning.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind, we've got just a small jar. We've got about how many ounces there? We've got
A pound.
about
16 ounces.
16 ounces of sour cream. And we're just gonna put the whole jar into a bowl and then mix in the taco seasoning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you do that. And then the first layer of our dip is gonna start with, we've got this can of traditional refried beans. That's it. It doesn't need to be heated up. Just put it into the bottom of your pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this can. We're gonna use the whole can into the bottom of the pan here. And it's just gonna be really, we're getting the layer dip started. Here we go.
I love how much is going into this.
Right?
This is gonna be great.
And I'm always like the worst. And don't try this at home, kids. When you can't get your can all the way open, do not stick your fingers in it. All right, got it. All right, so yeah, you're just basically, sour cream and taco seasoning is the easiest thing. I'm gonna grab a fork here to pull
We're
this
gonna
out.
use this whole packet.
Whole packet, so
Cool.
just get it in there, mix it around. And then we've got all of the other layers as well. Well, there we go. There we go, got it? I'm just gonna take this refried bean dip just like that. And it's the easiest. It's not the most appetizing looking initially, but we're gonna get this in the bottom of the pan because it's just gonna kind of hold everything and bind everything together from our dip perspective. It provides like a good base layer to the dip. So once it's in here, I'm spreading it around while you're doing the mixing. Ross, you were looking good as a chef here.
I don't know about all that. I'm here for moral support.
Moral support, right? And I want to make sure that I'm not ruining the sides of my stadium. We could have assembled the dip ahead of time, but just to be on the safe side, you want to see what it looks like. All right, this is looking good. Nice thin layer of these refried beans on the bottom. Ross is doing great with the taco sauce, taco seasoning, sour cream. And then I think Ross, once you are done with that, we're gonna have you put your layer on next, so no
Okay.
pressure. Looks good to me.
It's getting there. All
Yeah,
right.
get it there. So go ahead and scoop it in there, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of a spreading around. Yeah, it looks great. So we've got 3 different kinds of veggies: red and yellow peppers, carrots, cucumbers. We do have a little bit of celery as well, so we do actually have 4. I'm gonna grab my celery. And then the cheese. We've got cheese, you've got guacamole, we've got shredded or diced up ground beef, we've got some pico de gallo. It's the perfect 7-layer dip.
Love this.
Minus the lettuce, so it's probably 6-layer dip.
That's okay.
Looks good to me, awesome. Yeah, looking great. So we're just gonna spread this around, and that's the dip. So it's just sour cream and taco seasoning. It's a secret. Most people are like, what? And that's okay if there's some in the bottom, because we're just gonna stuff our fans into the crowd here. All right, looking good. Who doesn't love a good 7-layer dip? Are you a fan?
I love it.
Yeah, I am too.
Why stop at 7?
Why stop at 7? Just put all the flavors together. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna let you do this one.
All right.
That's ground beef, so it has been cooled down. You don't want to put it freshly hot right onto the dip because it will, kind of make the flavors melt a little bit. And just dump it all in there and spread it around. Yeah, you can just throw it in and make it easy, and we'll spread it around.
There we go. Just throw it in.
Easy, just like that, right? So I'm spreading around the ground beef. And if you don't like beef, you can do this with like turkey. You could do it with sausage. Whatever you really want to. But personally, beef is the classic, so you got to go with it. Right, looking good, looking good. So next, what we would do is usually you would do the shredded cheese and the pico de gallo on top, but because we want the guacamole to be the field, we're putting that on last. So if you
Okay.
want to spread a little bit of guacamole or a little bit of pico de gallo around, just like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot because we're gonna use some of the cheese and a little bit of the pico de gallo to make the end zone and the hash marks. You know, it's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
My
Look-
favorite part is going to be the red zone of this, I think.
The red zone. Shout out to those who shall not be named, but a big fan of that show. All right, let's see. So we've got a little bit of this in here, and then we'll add a little cheese. So if you want to sprinkle some cheese
All
in there,
right.
and you can really this is the best part. You can be creative with this. Some people don't like pico de gallo, but they just don't have to eat the dip. That's all I'm saying. Yep. So we're just gonna mix that in. Looking great. There's our dip. Yeah, perfect. Doesn't have to be too much.
No?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. We're gonna put a little bit more to make the hash marks and
Okay.
and the yard lines and all that fun stuff.
Cheese is my love language,
Cheese
so
is-
I usually go pretty heavy on that
That's fair. So you can make guacamole from scratch, but I say just do the store-bought thing. It makes this entire assembly way easier. All right, there we go. Okay, cool. So we're gonna spread the guacamole around. Do you want to do it?
one. I can sure
A lot of
try.
pressure. A lot of pressure there.
This is only our field, so.
No pressure, you know. We don't want to mess it up. Looking good. I don't want to. I'll do a little bit of this and check that out. There we go.
All right, we're kind of not getting the whole field here yet, but we'll get there.
We will get there. I'm going to use a clean spoon to help you out there. And then we'll rock and roll with the assembly. Yeah, so if you needed to, you can always buy a bigger one, and then if you really wanted to, you can just spread some lettuce on top of it.
Got it.
Yeah, just like that. So here's the fun part, Ross. You get to decide who goes where, what fans are sitting where in the stands. So, and then all you have to do is start assembling it, right? So we could put more layer of guacamole on top of it. You know, it just depends on how big your dish is, but you know, looking pretty good so
looking
far.
pretty good, yeah.
You know, we'll go from here. And then if you really wanted to, you could just shred some lettuce on top of it. But we're just gonna go ahead and leave it just like this for now, and just to give you a general idea of what it'll look like. And obviously you could probably spend a long time making this perfect. But I've got some celery here. We're gonna go ahead and get that opened up. Do you wanna go with the carbs or do you wanna go with the veggies?
Either or, I'll help you
There
with
we go.
these.
So I would say I'm gonna do veggies on the outside. How do you feel about that?
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
All right, great. So I like to, you know, in the essence of fans, I'm gonna put all the green veggies on one side, which is all the celery, personal opinion, and just shove that in there. Looking great. And then I've got cucumbers here, and you know, these cucumbers, instead of a traditional, you know, I'd say like silver dollar shape, the round shape, we went long ways. So I took a greenhouse English cucumber, I cut it into thirds, and then from there I cut those round shapes into halves, and then I just continued to make them nice, long, slender, dipping cucumbers. All right, the green team.
Green team.
Fly Eagles fly, except they're not.
Wah, wah,
Sorry,
wah.
fans. They're not in it. Next side, I'm going to do the orange, the red, and these are just carrots, peppers, yellow and red peppers.
We're doing pretzels and tortilla chips on these sides.
Looks great. Awesome. Looking great. I'm going to go ahead and stick these peppers into this side, and just provides variety. So if you wanted to do this at you can really honestly do this any way that you want to. I've seen it where you've had you've got queso, then you've got guacamole, then you've got salsa, and you kind of divide it out by putting aluminum foil dividers in it. But I like the idea of one whole field.
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
It's fun, lots of fun. So we're just gonna finish doing that. And then once you've assembled all of the food, you've assembled, you know, the stadium, the straws, then you get to start decorating it. You know, you can take little toothpicks and make figurines. Awesome, look at that, looks great to me.
Oh, that red.
And this would be a fun little project just to show you. You can print out little figures just like this, and then if you wanted to, you can glue them to the back of a toothpick, stick them in the middle. You know, you can let's do a little bit of cheese. You want to do some cheese sprinkles to make hash that? Yeah, you're the cheese guy. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then another option, you can take these red Solo cups. just like this, and put them in either corner and stick like your silverware, your napkins, you know, whatever it is that you want to do. Looking good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready to dig into this
looks pretty
right
good, yeah.
now. Yeah, look at that end zone, that
It looks
cheesy
starting
end
to
zone.
look like an end zone, yep.
It really is. It looks great. You can add more pico de gallo into it if you wanted to, just to give it some more structure. Another fun way that you can also kind of fill in the corners here, if you wanted to put salsa. Like, so we've got just some Tostitos salsa right there. You can put it in a jar. Whatever it is, you can just kind of put more dips, like ranches if you wanted to. Not saying that you'd want to do ranch with the 7-layer dip,
Never know.
but maybe you're not into the 7-layer dip, but you want the accoutrement that come with it and something else to dip it in. So you can just do some variety. But I think I'm ready to.
That looks pretty good.
Is it Sunday yet? Because I'm ready for this. Well, should we dip into it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going. What are you going with? I think I'm going with the classic chip. Why not? Classic chip, diving straight into the middle
Perfect.
as I break it. But you also can provide, like, you know, a spoon to help people get this into their mouths. Well, I'm going to try it. Here we go.
Tastes like Sunday.
It does. And we'll be right back after this. Meatballs are a staple when it comes to tailgate food, and we show you how to do a fun Hawaiian flavored twist on what we like to call the touchdown meatballs. It's Monday and it's football snacks because the big game is this weekend.
Can't wait.
Cannot wait. But did you see the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs like arriving into Vegas yesterday?
I did not.
Yeah,
no.
so they're in it to win it. They
All
look
right.
relaxed. We'll see who's gonna win.
All right.
Yeah.
We're more looking at Taylor Swift's concert schedule right
Like,
now.
is she actually going to
She'll
make
be
it
there.
on time?
She's gonna make
So
it.
who are you pulling for?
Niners.
Niners? All right. Well, then I'm going to go for the Chiefs,
All
I
right,
guess.
there
We'll
you
see.
go.
We'll see. We'll start placing a friendly bet all week long.
There we go.
But speaking of big game football snacks, we
Yes.
love football snacks. I like, personally, I think I love the big game more than like Thanksgiving or Christmas because you get all kinds of variety. Yeah, so we're gonna make what I like to call end zone meatballs. So this is like a traditional take or a fancier take on, you know, the jelly meatballs that you just throw in a crock pot. Cool. We're gonna actually make this with a little bit of crushed pineapple, vinegar, olive oil, peppers, onions. It's gonna be killer.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we're gonna show you in two parts how to do this. So we're gonna start with preparing all of our sauces, and then eventually everything gets thrown into the crock pot. So
Easy.
super simple. So what we're gonna do, we've got an onion and we've got a pepper. So I'll cut the onion, you can cut the pepper.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is basically just cut everything so that it's diced and we can just throw it into the crock pot. We need about 2/3 of a cup of the onion. So I'll grab this right here, and then we're just gonna chop it up. And then it's really great. The sauce actually consists of a can of crushed pineapple or chunks, whatever you want, a little bit of olive oil, and then what we've done is we've separated the pineapple from the pineapple juice because we're gonna use it all,
Sweet.
which is gonna be great. So chopping a pepper, let me show you if you want to. We'll cut this guy in half.
You got the knife. You go ahead.
I do. One of my favorite ways to cut a pepper is just to slice the top off, and then you just make a couple of incisions here, and then Ross, I'm gonna let you do the rest after this.
Love
And then
it.
it's really simple. You'll just pull out this middle piece, just like that, and it keeps the seeds comes right out. So you do that, we'll cut it in half, and then we'll put it into my favorite contraption, which is this kitchen like full star chopping thing. It does it all in one fell swoop. So what you'll do is you'll just kind of throw that in there.
Cool.
And now we've got our skillet. It's on medium heat. We're gonna throw some olive oil in there, and then we're gonna saute up our onions and peppers once we've got them cut. So lots of fun.
What a chop.
Look at how good you are at that.
So I love this last football game of the year because it usually takes longer than all the other ones.
It does.
So you have all this time for the snacks, right?
It's true. Do you have a favorite snack that you're looking forward to?
Oh man, whatever my friends cook for me on Sunday.
That's great.
I'm pretty easy.
Are you watching it at a friend's house?
Yeah, I'm watching it at a Chiefs fan's house. So
Oh,
we're
boy.
We're gonna have a little fun over
Are
there.
you going to be the single Niners fan in the group?
Probably, yeah, probably.
Awesome. So Ross, if you want to do me a favor, while I
Yes.
finish chopping this onion, we're going to put some olive oil into the pan. So
Cool.
You can do about 1 to 2 tablespoons, whatever you feel is necessary.
Okay.
And then we're going to chop up we're going to saute up the onion and the green pepper because we want it a little bit softer as it's cooking into the crock pot. So yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to go actually watch it with a friend. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm actually going to see the big game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there at the game in person, but I'm going to hang out with my friends in Las Vegas in the sunshine. As much as I love the winter, I think
Love that.
it'll be a nice little break.
So I found out this morning that I'm gonna be in a Super Bowl commercial.
Are you really?
Check that out. Yep.
Wow, that's big time. You're really rising above.
No one's gonna know it's me, so that's fun. But
Hey, you know,
I'm gonna know.
we've got to get our break
I'm
somewhere.
gonna know. Yeah.
Awesome. So once this gets a little bit heated, you can throw in the peppers and just start stirring it around.
Cool.
I'm going to pass the spatula over
Gotcha.
to you, and then I'm going to keep chopping. What's great about this is that it's a little bit a mix of sweet and nice and sizzling. I love it. We love the sound of a sizzle.
Yes. Definitely hot.
Definitely hot. And we can lower that heat just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, this recipe is great because you've got the sweetness of the ketchup, sweetness of the pineapple juice, and then you've got a little bit of that like sour taste with any vinegar. So we're using red wine vinegar, but it really doesn't matter what you use.
Sweet.
So yeah, very different take on your normal. And
And you just eat these just straight, or you mix them in with anything, or how's this work?
we're gonna mix that in with the sauce, and I will show you how we're getting started there next. All right, this is looking great. I'm about to throw these onions into that as well. Now you can kind of up to your preference, right? I sometimes like to finely dice my onion. We're gonna put about half of it in there, so check this out.
I like this.
Thank you. And I'll just put that in there. We want to saute it for about 3 to 5 minutes just to soften everything up. And it's going to be nice and easy. So that's it. So we've separated our pineapple juice. Now, do you know about cornstarch?
No.
You do. You will after
All
this.
right.
So cornstarch actually thickens up as any sort of sauce. So we're
Okay.
going to go ahead and put 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and this is not on, so I'm going to set that right there. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of cornstarch into our pineapple juice.
Is that how you check to make sure it's not on? You put your hand on there. Is that right?
Definitely not the right
Not
way
on.
to do things.
We're gonna just put our hand.
I
Make
mean,
sure.
I saw the dials, but I just also wanted to
It's
demonstrate.
all right. You know what you're doing. I know you know what you're doing.
Some days we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, it's a Monday morning, so the
That's all
brain
right.
is turning on.
It's all right. We're gonna get there.
We are going to get there. So we're doing, we've got the pineapple juice. We're good to go here. Actually, I'm going to move that. And then we're going to grab one more bowl, and we're going to mix our ketchup and our vinegar together.
Cool.
So I'm going to grab that bowl now in our handy dandy TV8 kitchen. And then with the ketchup, we're going to do about 3/4 of a cup of ketchup.
Okay.
So make sure this is a brand new bottle, nice and fresh.
Awesome.
Are you a big ketchup guy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've only recently started liking ketchup on the regular. It's always fun to try and get this.
Like, what do you eat on your hot dogs?
I'm basic. I go plain.
No, Kim, no.
On
no.
occasion, I will put some cheese on it.
There you go. Save it. Save yourself right now.
But you know, condiments not my thing, but until recently. But I
A
love
hamburger? What do you put on a good cheeseburger?
I love
or
a
something?
good like aioli or
Okay,
like a special
okay,
sauce. You know,
okay.
those are my favorite. So we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of ketchup here, and I'm just gonna keep squeezing it in. It's gonna take up a lot of this ketchup. You know, lots of fun.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm gonna get this all over my bright yellow shirt.
I'm a big fan of half ketchup, half mayonnaise.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the start to like a Thousand Island dressing.
It pretty much
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. And so we'll just do that, keep doing that. So we're sauteing our peppers down. They're looking good. They're still sizzling. It's gonna take a minute. All right. We've got all of the ketchup in here, as you can see. And then from the ketchup, we're blending it with the vinegar. So you've got the measuring over there.
Okay.
I need 4 tablespoons of my red wine vinegar.
It only comes in once.
Well, you're gonna have to do it 4 times.
All right, there we go.
So we're just gonna pour it into a bowl. All right, just like that. Looking good. We might, actually, Ross, if I can grab a spoon, we're gonna grab one of our fancy spoons. There we go, we've got it. I'm just cooking it in here. So this is a multi-step recipe. You know, we like to do fancy recipes here on the show that usually take 5 ingredients or less.
Yes.
But we are prepping for the big game, so this is gonna be a little bit special.
We're going for 4, we said, right?
We are going for 4. So then we're gonna mix this all together, but we'll continue showing you how to do this recipe very shortly after we finish this mixing, because there's a couple more steps we have to do, so very excited about that. Those peppers are smelling great, they're cooking down, and I'm just gonna stir this ketchup with the vinegar, so it just makes it a little bit thinner, and then you got your sweet and sour, I guess we could call it.
Love it. That's easy.
And we're just making it happen. Enzo meatballs are on their way.
Love it. Love it.
Well, we got a lot more happening in this first hour, so we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the kitchen. As promised, we are finishing up the touchdown or end zone meatballs. Either one is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
But it smells really great. Can you smell the combo?
Oh,
of,
yeah.
The peppers and the onions,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the ketchup and vinegar, all of it. It's like, I don't know, it's like a party for our nostrils right now.
Yeah, we've been kind of working in between takes here, right? Getting kind of moved along throughout the morning
It's
here.
exactly right. So what we did during the commercial break, while our pan was still hot, we mixed the pineapple juice that we strained from the can, we separated from the can, and then we added the cornstarch as well. So lots of things happening, quite delicious. And you can just smell it. It smells great. But we're gonna finish it up. So we're adding in our meatballs. So you can make these from scratch if you wanted to, but you can also do the lazy girl hack is what I like to call it, and get the frozen meatballs already cooked. Now you don't want the Italian kind.
No.
We do not want Italian seasoning into our pot, because this is not an Italian flavor.
Okay.
Right? But we're doing just regular home-style meatballs. But before we get started with that, we're gonna go ahead and finish. We've got an entire can of crushed pineapple. So we're gonna dump it into our crock pot.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna let Ross do the dumping, and then I'm gonna do the stirring. This is gonna add a little bit more juice. You know, everything has kind of been simmering together, so these flavors are gonna be great. As you can see, it's just gonna be a delicious, like Hawaiian-inspired football treat. Yeah, so we're just stirring it in there. Everything looks great, and then the easiest part now is the meatballs.
I think we should have gotten some Hawaiian rolls.
You know,
And made like a little Hawaiian meatball sandwich.
that sounds quite delicious. Add a little cheese on it.
Oh, yeah.
Cheese on everything. It doesn't
yeah.
matter what.
Oh yeah. That's the beauty of these. You
Right.
can do all sorts of things.
You really can. So these are just our regular, you know, they're like pork or beef, whatever you want. But it's just regular flavored home-style meatballs. You usually get about a 2-pound bag to really fill up the crock pot. And so you've got enough for all of your guests for the big game. Yeah, so you ready? Are you ready to
Let's
dump it
do
in?
it. Let's do it. How do you eat these things? Like toothpick them, or how do you?
Yeah, I
usually
would use a toothpick. You can just kind of like set a jar of toothpicks next to your crock pot. Okay, looking good. We're gonna go ahead and just stir everything in there. Believe it or not, these are going to be delicious when they're cooked all the way through. But you put it on high. So we have it on low when we had our sauce in here. So I'm gonna adjust my crock pot to high. This should take about an hour to 2 hours to fully cook, depending on what's happening here. But we're just gonna stir it in, and then eventually it's all going to just like meld together. It's gonna be delicious. I cannot wait to try these when they are done. But it's definitely one of my favorite things to do is to make like football snacks.
Love this.
Yeah, so
Love
it's
this.
gonna be great.
And they're probably good left over.
They are great, actually, the next day, but these probably won't be left over
Yeah,
because they're
that's
going to be
right.
so delicious.
That's right.
They will be for us here in the studio,
That's
but
right.
you know what? We're gonna let them cook. It's cooking on high, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Cool, easy.
Yeah, lots of stuff. So if you feel like you need to put a little bit more like sauce in it, we can add a little bit more of the red wine, a little bit more of the ketchup,
Cool.
olive oil. Just depends on how thick you want your sauce to be that's surrounding these meatballs. So they're just gonna simmer down. They're gonna be delicious.
Easy.
It's gonna be super
Do you ever
easy.
use the liner in the crock pot so you don't have to clean it?
You know, I don't.
No.
I should. You know, easy kitchen hack. I feel like I do dishes all the time because I'm always trying new recipes
That's right.
and cooking. But yeah, do you use the liner?
It's part of it.
Are you a crock pot guy?
Not a big crock pot guy, no.
Oh, you're about to be.
Yeah.
The more you're on TV8.
I love to eat a good crock pot meal, but
It's true.
I just don't have the patience, you know,
Yeah, it's a lot.
to let it sit for hours. So
It's true. But we're gonna let this one sit, and it's going to be delicious. It's gonna smell good. We can already smell all the
yeah.
flavors now. So it's very. I feel like we're in Hawaii. Yeah.
You do?
I do kind of. You know,
all right.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. You know, ready for the sun, and I know we're getting some here, but I'm ready for the sun and the beach. So it's coming up soon.
And I'm ready for some snow.
You know, yin and yang here.
Always.
That's what it is. But we've got all of this deliciousness in the crock pot. Cannot wait to taste it. These are called end zone or touchdown meatballs. Whatever you want, you can make it fun, make it themed for your party and for all of your guests.
Love it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Well, we've got more on deck for the show, so we'll be right back after this. No football watch party is complete without something buffalo inspired. We made a buffalo chicken dip in the kitchen with 5 simple ingredients. Kevin and I make it look delicious, so check it out. We're in the kitchen again.
In the kitchen.
Every day. It's been
ITK.
so much fun. ITK in the kitchen with Kevin and Kim.
We should just rename this the Fun Zone because that's what it is.
It is the fun zone. You know, speaking of fun zone, you want some good stuff for the big game.
Yeah, you're having people over, and you want to impress them with some nice delights to eat and snack on during the big game.
It's true. I don't think people realize how easy snacks can be, and especially when they're made from scratch and made with love.
Made with love, yes.
Because we are in the month of love, and that's coming up next week.
Oh
which is
my
pretty-
gosh, I forgot
pretty
about
crazy,
that coming up. Yeah.
Right? So we are going to make a Frank's Red Hot original buffalo chicken dip recipe. It's one
Who
of my
is
favorites.
Frank?
I don't know. We should ask.
Yeah, we
Maybe
should look that
do a
up.
little history
Yeah.
and dig around and find
Frank.
out. Frank, good old Frank. So we're gonna get started. It's actually very simple. You have shredded chicken, which you can either buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it yourself. You can boil some chicken breast, shred it up yourself, which is what we did here.
Yeah.
And then you've got cream cheese, about 8 ounces of cream cheese. Plus you've got the Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot.
We have the original, so it's not super hot, but it'll have a kick to it. And then ranch dressing and some
Ranch.
blue cheese. It's the easiest.
We're set to go. We got everything right here.
We've got everything right here. So we are gonna get started. What we'll start with is 2 cups of shredded chicken.
Okay.
So we've got our measuring cups here. It's very simple. You really only need 2 cups. You need a 1 cup measurement, and then you also need a 1/2 cup measurement. And that is it. It
Okay.
is so simple.
There's our half.
There's our 1/2. And really, that's just kind of an estimate, right? So it depends on how cheesy you want it. If you want to stretch it, you just add more cheese. If you
Is that how
want
you do
chicken-
that? You just
Sure.
stretch it?
You just stretch
Just
it
stretch
like
it.
Gumby.
Stretch it.
Yeah, it's looking good to me. And we don't
Okay.
have to you can use all of it.
Yeah, we're
but
going to.
We
There we
are
go.
definitely
Done.
going to. We've also got a shallow, like 1-inch pan to put it all in.
Okay.
Our oven is preheated to 350 degrees.
Okay.
And that is easiest. This should take about 10 minutes to prep. So then from there, we're adding in the 8 ounces of cream cheese.
Should this be softened? This is soft.
It should be soft.
It should be soft.
softened. So
Easy to
we pull it
mix
usually,
in.
if you know you're going to make this ahead of time, I would suggest pulling out the cream cheese like
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes before you get started. Yeah, it's literally that simple. Then we've got the Frank's Red Hot. So it calls for about a 1/2 cup.
Okay.
But I always say the more the better. Why not, right?
Why not? You got a little
it's
half
really,
cup here.
It's really up to you, like
Just gonna
whatever
take
you
the
choose
top
to
off
do.
and pour it in.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start smashing in the cream cheese into the chicken. And it's going to seem like a really dense consistency as you get started. But that's okay because we're popping it in the oven so it melts. It's
Gotcha.
going to be delicious. So yeah, we'll pour the red hot, and we've got.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Pour it in.
Little Frank's.
Little Frank's. There we go.
Oh, that smells good.
It smells
That'll
great.
heat you up.
We have nothing like buffalo sauce. first thing
Nothing
in the
like some
morning.
buffalo sauce in the morning.
And then the blue cheese, you kind of you do about a half a cup if you want to. I'm always a little bit estimate.
Half cup, you say?
A half a cup or
Half
a
cup.
heaping half cup is how
Good.
I like to say it. There we go. It's a pretty easy recipe.
It is a pretty
Buffalo
easy
chicken
recipe.
dip, I think people don't realize how easy it is to make. So we are just sitting here doing some stirring, doing some dumping, and then we've got
Hopefully
our
it'll dump outside. Need some snow.
we do need some snow, and this
We're gonna blue cheese it
this
just
heat
a
here
little
in
bit.
the kitchen is going to keep the snow away. I
It
think.
will.
Awesome. And then we got our
It's El
chicken in here.
Nino in here.
It is. We got our chicken. So we have the chicken in here,
Okay.
the Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's.
We've got the blue
Cheese a check.
blue cheese and check, and then the ranch dressing.
How much
If you-
ranch?
I would say you do about a half
About a half cup?
Yeah, about a half cup. We could do a little bit more since we put a little more chicken in here,
Yeah.
so it kind of melts a little
That's the
bit more.
stick stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like to do the avocado-based ranch dressing or avocado oil-based ranch dressing.
Oh, you do?
Personal
Why?
opinion. I just like it. I feel like it's got a little bit
Just
cleaner
Kim's
ingredient.
preference.
It is
No
my
reason.
preference. No.
Typically, that's what she says. I don't need a reason. It's what I like.
It's true. Don't question my motives.
nope.
Just listen. I'm going. I'm
And you
getting it
notice I'm
done.
just putting it in. I don't care. Simple question, simple answer.
Simple-
I'm done. I'm
right,
moving on, girl.
Exactly. So we did put some extra chicken in here. So I would say to kind of balance it out, we'll put a little bit more of the ranch and a little bit more of
Is
the
that
hot
what you're
sauce.
saying?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Don't you think?
Why not?
Or let's do
Why
it.
not?
But that's kind of the rough estimate. I used to think that there was cheddar cheese in this, and you can top it with cheddar cheese if you want to, just to let it broil a little bit. But really, you don't need it because we've got
Because we got the cream cheese.
we got the
you don't
cream
want to get
cheese
too
in here.
cheesy.
And the blue cheese in here.
And the blue cheese.
And you've got the red hot that makes it
The
that
red hot.
fun orange color that we
fun
all know
orange
and
color.
love. It's repeat Kim day. We like to play this game sometimes. but
Sometimes we
Kevin-
do.
Kevin repeats
Sometimes
the things
we
that
do.
I say.
Very good at that.
It's a lot of fun.
Because what you say is so profound, it just deserves
So
to be
profound.
said twice.
A bit like the Ralph Waldo Emerson quote
little
that I
bit.
gave earlier
Yeah.
this morning.
Make your own trail, path. Don't walk, whatever.
Skip, jump, hop.
Yeah,
As long as it's
we
your
got
own
it.
trail, you're doing it.
We need some more Franks.
We need more Franks, always. So this looks great, which is kind of funny because you're like, does it look good? It does, because this is exactly.
It actually smells amazing. It really does.
I think my favorite Super Bowl treat, big game treat, is the Frank's Red Hot or buffalo dip in any capacity. Buffalo pizza.
How about just dipping chips in Franks?
I've
could
done
do that.
that too.
You could do
I
that.
usually do that with French fries.
There's no rules at the big game.
No rules at the
No
big
referees in your living room.
game. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Because there's probably lots
And if
of
there were, I
flags that
just
would
throw
be
a
thrown.
challenge flag. I just throw a challenge flag. Nope, I'm going to do this.
Right. So if you can see it, it looks good. Everything, it's a great consistency because you do want it to be a little bit melty when you're putting it in, when you're trying to dip like a chip or vegetables. We've got some freshly
Oh,
cut
vegetables.
Yeah. I like to do celery and
Trying to get healthy on us, Kim. Stop it. Stop
avoid
it.
the carbs if possible because we're probably consuming them in all other ways while we watch the game.
So then this is it. You've got your oven preheated. You've got your ingredients stirred in the bowl. You're going to put that in your 1-inch shallow baking pan. No oil in there, no nothing. You just put it in.
Just straight in.
Ha!
And then if you
Simple.
if you want to keep it hot, obviously you could do this in a crock pot and just let it sit, but
Oh.
all right, here we
another
go.
Variation.
Kevin, I'm going to give this to you to
Okay.
scoop it into here because I'm
Gotcha.
afraid I'm going to drop
10-4.
this bowl everywhere.
You got it. Just hang on tight. We're scraping.
We are scraping
Got to get out all that chicken.
all
and
the good
Frank's.
stuff and ranch and cream cheese. And that is
All right,
it.
we got it.
Looking great. And then you just spread it evenly throughout the pan. So this pan is a little bit bigger than maybe putting it in like a normal baking dish, but either way, it's going to melt. It's still going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Who cares? We're going to
Who
eat
cares?
it,
No
and we're going to
rules.
love it.
There's no rules in the big game.
No rules in the big game, and no rules in the fun zone.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely
So
not.
now just pop this in the old oven.
That is it. We just throw it in the
I'm
oven,
in.
and then we let it bake for 20 minutes. Looking good. Our oven is heated.
Heated to 350 degrees on the nose.
350 degrees on the nose. We're going to let it bake for 20 minutes. Then we're going to pull it out, and we're going to taste test it and live our best big game lives.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Well, we've got a lot more in store in this first hour, and that's just the beginning. We just got started. So we'll see you soon, and we'll be right back after this.
We're back already.
We are back. We're back in the fun zone because we have some fun zone football dip to check.
I'm going to check it out.
Kevin is going to grab the buffalo dip out of the oven. Man, it smells good.
Ooh, it
looks
does.
nice and crispy. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to try it. So we've got two different kinds of ways to get it into your mouth. We got
a shovel.
Tostitos, the shovel, and then you've got some veggies. You know,
Okay.
we always like fresh veggies, kind of chopped up. I'm gonna get in there. What do you think? It's
Do
gonna
it.
be really hot, so you're gonna have to talk and tell people what I'm thinking and feeling as I taste this dip. It's gonna be
So
a good
one thing I did too at the very end, the last couple minutes, I actually hit the broiler. Gives a little bit of crust on top, but again, Kim, you pointed out you could spread some cheddar cheese on there too to get a little more melty. Yeah, that's a good. You're liking that. Okay. But it's got a great aroma. It smells great. You can really smell the red hot and the blue cheese both.
And you know, now that I'm finished chewing, it's actually really not spicy. You know, we did put a decent amount of Frank's Red Hot in it, so it's not very spicy. It's quite delicious. I think you could throw some cheese on it just to give it a little bit more texture and variety in the flavoring, but pour a little bit more Red Hot on top of it, and it's just good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Who doesn't love a good football dip? A good buffalo chicken dip. I could eat this with a spoon.
Nobody. I'll answer that question.
Nobody loves
Nobody
it.
doesn't like it.
It's true, but I'm eating it with celery because I'm going to eat probably half of this. Just kidding. I'm not.
Really good for breakfast.
It's great for breakfast, but
Yeah.
we've got a lot more happening on the show, so we'll be back after this. I certainly hope you are inspired and know what you are making for your football watch party. Go Chiefs, go Niners. Can't wait to see what happens. I'm Kimberly Pro, and thanks for joining this Saturday morning edition of Wasatch Weekends.